Hello students, welcome to online course of Mechanical Measurement and Metrology. Myself Abhishek Trivedi from Mechanical Engineering Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. We are discussing system of limits, fits, tolerance and gauging. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the basic system of hole base and the shaft base systems, which are majorly useful in the mechanical industries for the designing the assemblies. Then we have discussed the Indian standard system for the tolerance zones as well as tolerance grades. Now today we are going to discuss the gauging system, how the gauge has been designed, what is the basic requirement of the gauge, and why we are going to design such amount of the gauge, and why we are took a high precision for designing the gauge. So let us start with the basic concept of the gauge. What do you mean by gauge and how it will work? First of all, let us understand the concept of gauge. What is the basic concept of gauge? Suppose I have to check the dimension of this particular shaft. Suppose the diameter of the shaft is, let's say, 10 mm. Okay, here we are going to discuss a very precision instrument, so I can say that I have designed a shaft having the exactly 10 mm dimensions. Now the basic criteria or the basic requirement of my industry is that whether I have to accept this particular shaft or I have to reject this particular shaft. Suppose the shaft is as per the defined size, I will accept. It is not following, it is not fulfilling the design, I will reject the particular shaft. Then to make sure that whether I have to accept or reject the shaft, what I am supposed to do, I have designed the two rings. Here this is the ring number 1, here this is the ring number 2. The first one having the dimension, let's say 9.95, the second one that is the dimension of 10.05. Suppose the particular shaft will pass through this particular ring, then I can say that the dimension of the shaft is less than this amount. And suppose it will not going to pass this particular ring, I can say that the dimension is higher than this particular amount. So I can expect that the particular shaft having the dimensioning range of this particular two lines, and I am going to accept the shaft. So designing of such rings are known as the gauge. If the particular component will pass through your gauge, the gauge is known as a go gauge. If the particular component will not pass through the gauge is known as a no go gauge. So here we have classified the gauge in the two different prime category. The first one, that is the go gauge, and the second one, that is the no go gauge. Go gauge means the component must be passed through this particular gauge, then it is known as a go gauge. No go gauge means it is strictly prohibited to pass the component from the particular gauge, and if the component will also pass through the no go gauge, then we are going to reject the component. Now for the acceptance and rejection, in the go gauge the component must have to pass the go gauge, then it is accepted. If it is not passing, then it will be rejected. Whereas in the case of the no go gauge, if the component will pass through the gauge, then we are going to reject the workpiece, and if it is not passing, then we are going to accept the workpiece. Take a note here, both the case of the acceptance and rejection are totally opposite to each other. This is the basic case of the go and no go gauge, and this is the basic concept of the gauge. In the particular comparator, we are going to check the geometrical forms and so many different parameters at a time for comparing the actual workpiece with the standard workpiece. Whereas here we are not going to compare the actual particular component to the standard component. Here we are simply accepting or rejecting the particular workpiece which are going to be manufactured inside the mechanical industries. Now the title shows design of the gauge and the Taylor's principle. You have heard the name of Taylor's in the so many fields. The Taylor has told for the gauges that the particular principle says that whatever the go gauge has been designed, irrespective of it is designed for the shaft or the hole, it will fulfill the maximum material condition. This is the basic requirement of the Taylor's principle for the go gauge design. Whereas in the case of the no go gauge design, we are simply accept that the minimum, let's say, material condition. So this is the basic concept of the go and no go gauge. Simply, if your material will fulfilling the maximum material limit, or we can say if the limit is shows the maximum material limit, the particular limit is known for the go gauge and other is known for the no go gauge. For shaft, the upper limit stands for the maximum material limit. For hole, the lower limit stands for the maximum material limit. Whereas here for shaft, the lower limit stands for the minimum material limit, and for hole, the upper limit stands for the minimum material limit. We have already discussed this upper lower limit for the hole and the shaft in the previous lectures. Still, I will try to recall you. Suppose I have the two different shaft. The basic dimension of the shaft, that is, let's say 100 mm. I have the shaft of 99 and I have the shaft of 102. So I can say that this is the upper limit of the shaft, this one will the lower limit of the shaft. From the figure you can check that the upper limit of the shaft contain the maximum material. The maximum material limit for the shaft, that is the upper limit. The lower limit shaft contain the minimum material. So the minimum material condition for shaft is lower limit of the shaft. Same case for the hole. We are going to punch the hole in the sheet. Suppose this is the hole number 1, this is gonna be the hole number 2. The hole of, let's say, 98 mm, the hole of, let's say, 102 mm, where 100, that is the basic size for production of the hole. After the punching the hole, or we can say after the removing the hole, whatever the material left over the metal sheet, we are considering those particular material. So you can check from the figure, for this one with the lower limit of the hole and this is gonna be the upper limit of the hole. From the figure you can check that for upper limit of the hole, we are supposed to find the minimum material. So minimum material for hole, that is the upper limit of the hole, and for the lower limit of the hole, lower size of the hole, we are supposed to find the maximum amount of the material inside the sheet. So I can say that for the hole, maximum material condition will be helpful at the hole when we are using the lower limit of the hole. So this is the basic Taylor's principle. Taylor's principle says that whatever the gauge you are supposed to design, whether it is a go gauge or the no go gauge, you have to fulfill the basic criteria for the materialistic condition. For designing the gauge, or we can say for designing the go gauge, you have to prefer the you have to prefer the maximum material limit for the given component. For designing the no go gauge, you have to simply prefer the minimum material condition of the given gauge. Whether it is fulfilling the hole condition or the shaft condition, you have to decide on your own. The Taylor's principle is a very common and universally accepted statement that for the designing of the go gauge, you have to prefer the maximum material condition. For the designing of the no go gauge, you have to prefer the minimum material condition. That's it. According to the Taylor's principle, the go and no go gauge should be designed to check the maximum and minimum material limit, which are checked as below. The first one, that is the go limit. Go limit is the designation applied to that limit of the given to limit of the size which corresponds to the maximum material condition, or we can say the maximum material limit consideration, where upper limit of the shaft and the lower limit of the hole fulfilling the maximum material condition, and upper limit of the shaft and lower limit of the hole stands as a go gauge size. Where no go gauge limit, the designation is applied to the limit of the size which corresponds to the minimum material condition. The minimum material condition for the shaft, that is the lower limit, and for the hole, that is the upper limit. So I can say that lower limit of the shaft and the upper limit of the hole will fulfill the minimum materialistic condition, and it stands for the no go gauge limit. Then the next one, that is the wear allowance on the gauges. As I have told you that particular go gauge from which each and every component has to be passed, whereas in the no go gauge, no any component will require to be passed. So I can say that for designing the gauge, let's say go gauge and the no go gauge, we have to make a proper concern for the designing of the go gauge instead of no go gauge. You can simply eliminate the design of the no go gauge, whereas you can focus more on the design of the go gauge, because the particular go gauge will directly come in the contact with the workpiece. Suppose the mechanical industry will produce the 10,000 shaft in a day, and you have to check all the shaft by a single ring. So I can say that for 10,000 times I will apply the shaft over the single ring, and due to the continuous use of this particular ring, there might some chance that the internal material of the ring will be getting weared out. The internal material will suffer some sort of the wear and tear, and due to the wear and tear, that might some chance that the particular ring will, due to the wear effect, the internal diameter of the wear, let's say initial case this is the basic cross section of the ring. Initially the internal diameter is, let's say, 10 mm, but due to the wear and tear, the layer of the material will be removed slightly, and due to the removal of the material, the dimension of the ring will be like this. The internal dimension of the ring will be slightly increased, let's say 10.2 mm. So due to the increase in the dimension of the ring, we are not supposed to say that whatever the shaft, then we are going to check by this particular defective ring having some defect in the measurements. So to avoid such amount of the defect in the measurement, we have to provide some sort of allowances. The allowance is known as a wear allowance on the gauge. The go gauge only are subjected to the wear due to the rubbing against the parts during the inspection, and hence a provision has to be made for the wear allowance. The wear allowance in general taken as a 10% of the gauge allowance. Let us understand with the case. First of all, let us understand, suppose I have to design the shaft having the dimension 100 mm. Then I will provide the, first of all, two limits, let's say 102 mm and 98 mm. So I can say that the zone of the tolerance, that is the 4 mm. Now 10% of the 4 mm will stands for the gauge tolerance. 10% of the 4 mm will stands for the gauge tolerance, because as I have told you that for designing the ring for the same shaft of 100 mm, it is not possible that I can manufacture a ring of exactly 102 mm. I cannot manufacture the ring of exactly 98 mm. So ring itself requires some sort of range. Let's say here the ring can be manufactured, let's say 102.5 as well as 101.5. Here the ring can be manufactured, let's say 98.5, or ring can be manufactured as 97.5 as well. So what we are supposed to do, we are accepting that the 10% of the given total tolerance will become the gauge tolerance. So I can say that 0.4 mm will be the gauge tolerance. So according to the 0.4 mm, we have the two different dimensions, 102 and the 98. So I can say that 102.4 and 101 point, let's say 0.4, so it's become 6. That is the basic criteria. Here 98.4 and I can produce 97.6. This is the basic case. And again, if the wear allowance is not provided, then what we are supposed to do, we are accepting the 10% of this 0.4 value. So I can say that the gauge or wear allowance for the particular gauge, that will become the 0.04 mm. So I can say that for designing the go gauge side, I will use 102.40 plus the allowance. So I can say that 102.44. Instead of manufacturing 102.4, I will manufacture the gauge having the total dimension of 102.44. So whether if the dimensions are slightly changed, it will compensated just because of the wear allowance has been provided. So guys, this is the basic case of the wear allowance. You can say that wear allowance is taken as a 10% of the gauge allowance and is allowed to between the zone of tolerance of the gauge and the maximum material limit condition. A maximum material limit for the hole, that is the lower limit, and for the shaft, that is the upper limit. If the working tolerance is less than, underline these particular words, if the working tolerance is less than 0.09 mm, then the wear allowance is not provided unless it is stated. It means working tolerance means for designing of, let's say, 100 mm shaft, I am supposed to provide the total tolerance of, let's say, 0.09 mm. So I can say that I can manufacture the shaft of, let's say, 100.04 and 99.95. This is the basic case. Here the zone of tolerance, or we can say the total tolerance zone, is, let's say, 0.09 mm. If the working tolerance is less than 0.09 mm, then the wear allowance is not the necessary condition for the designation of what for the design. So guys, this is the basic case of the wear allowance. Next topic continues. Then the next topic, that is the types of gauge. Now we are going to discuss the different categories of the gauge. The first one, that is the plug gauge. As the name suggests, plug gauge is used for checking the value of the hole. Suppose I have designed this particular hole, then I have to check, let's say the dimension of the hole is 100 mm. Then I have to check that whether the particular hole is exactly as per my design or not. Then I have the two different values, let's say here bottom side 99 and the top side 101 mm. Then what I am supposed to do, I will design such amount of the gauge. This is the known as a plug gauge. Here suppose the dimension of the ring is 99, here the dimension of the ring is, let's say, 101 mm. I will simply take this particular plug and fit inside the hole. If the plug will pass through the hole, then I can say that this is the go side and it must be passed through the hole. If it is passed through the hole, then I can say that the dimension is I have taken the dimension of 99, then I can say that the dimension of the hole is greater than 99, because it will easily accept the shaft. And if this is the no go gauge side, if this particular will not pass through this hole, then I can say that the dimension of the hole is greater than the 101, is greater than 101 and is less than 99. So I can say that, sorry, so that I can say that the dimension of the hole is greater than 99, dimension of the hole is greater than 99, and the dimension of the hole is less than 101 for the hole. We are discussing for the hole. Then I can say that the dimension is surely in between the 101 and 99, let's say 100 mm, and we are going to accept this particular hole. Plug gauge are limit gauge used for checking the holes, and it consists of two cylindrical wear resistance plugs. The plugs are made to the lower limit of the hole, which is the go gauge, and this will enter in any of the hole which is not smaller than the lower limit allowed. The plug made to upper limit of the hole is known as a no go gauge at the another end, and it will not enter in any of the hole which is smaller than the upper limit allowed. So this is the case of the plug gauge. The next one type of the gauge, that is the snap gauge. Snap gauge is also used to check the dimension of the shaft. Suppose I have to check the dimension of the particular shaft, then what I am supposed to do, suppose this is the shaft and I have to check the dimension of the shaft. So this particular plug is used, the plug has been fitted like this, and we are going to check whether the shaft is as per our requirement or not. The basic case of the using the gauge is same as the case of the go and no go gauge, just we are changing the application of the gauge and we are changing the shape of the gauge. The snap gauge usually consists of the plate or the frame having the parallel face with each other with the gap which is required dimension. The snap gauge can be used for both the cylindrical as well as non-cylindrical workpiece, as compared to the ring gauge, which are only conveniently used for the cylindrical workpiece. If we are completing the value of the if we are completing the particular gauge like this, then it will become the ring gauge. But the basic limitation of the ring gauge is only useful for checking the dimension of the cylindrical workpiece only, whereas the particular snap gauge, if I have the square bar, then and then I can also check particular gauge like this. I am going to check the gauge which is properly setted over here or not. So due to the parallel surfaces, here we have the parallel surfaces, first is here and second is over here. Due to the proper parallel surfaces, I can check the cylindrical as well as non-cylindrical workpiece by using the snap gauge. The third category of the gauge, that is the ring gauge. As I have told you that we have designed the rings for the different dimensioning systems. The rings are used for gauging the shaft, and they are used in the similar manner of the go and no go gauge of the plug. The change is that the plug gauge is useful for measurement of the hole, whereas the ring is useful for measurement of the shaft. The ring gauge consists a piece of metal in which the required size of the hole should be bored. This is the case of the ring gauge. And the last type of the gauge, but not the least, that is the limit gauge. We have already discussed the limit gauge, but this is the category of the gauge that go and no go gauge are referred as an inspection tool to check the workpiece against its allowed tolerances. It deviates its name from its use that the gauge has a two set to check the involves the workpiece having to pass the one test and have to fail the another test. It says that if the workpiece should pass the test is known as a go, and if it is fail the test, then it is known as the no go gauge. And it must have to pass go, and it must have to not to pass the particular no go gauge. So guys, this is the basic case of the gauges. Here we are going to wind up our lecture, as well as we are completing our chapter over here. What we have discussed today, we have discussed the basic concept of the gauging system, then how the gauge are useful, then the limiting gauge, or we can say the concept of the go and no go gauge. Then we have discussed the design of the gauge as per the Taylor's principle. Then we have discussed how the wear allowance has been provided to the gauge, and then later part of the lecture we have discussed the types of gauge, in which we have discussed the first one, that is the limit gauge. Then we have discussed the snap gauge, plug gauge, and ring gauge. Today we are going to end up our chapter over here. From next lecture we are starting our new chapter. Till then, thank you.